Right, hello, this is Mike 3 Delta Alpha Fox, name's Dale, and this is a first video that I've done regarding the setup for the KB5RAB Image for the Raspberry Pi 2 and Raspberry Pi 3 with a dvmega, which allows you to use DMR, DSTAR and also Fusion. What we'll concentrate on is we'll just do the installation just for DMR purposes only, as I will not be using Fusion and I will not be using DSTAR. So okay, these are the links to the I'll post these links with the video. These are all the links for obtaining the image, obtaining also programs for the use of installing the image onto a micro SD card, and also for getting onto the Raspberry Pi and setting the Raspberry Pi up. So to start off with, I've already got these links open in my browser. So what we'll do here is let's just have a look. So okay, all these links here I've already opened up across the top here. These are all what you're going to need to download and to install the Raspberry Pi image from KB5RAB. Okay, the link here described tells you where to get the latest update from. This page here on Facebook will be updated as and when Russell decides to update his image. So to download the image, first off you're going to need to click on spaceshightail.com. This link just here, this one just here. Okay, so this is what's going to happen. When you click on the link, you will get two images. Okay, the pixel image, this one here, is probably the one that most users will use, because this one doesn't contain Fusion. It's just for DSTAR and DMR only. If you want to use Fusion as well as, then you will need to download the YSF pixel version. Okay, and to download the image, you'll just need to hover above and click on the arrow, which will download the file. I get all my downloads put straight onto my desktop on the computer. Don't go into a download folder. I take them straight onto the desktop so I can actually see what's coming down, and just makes it easier for me. So we'll download the 8GB pixel, this one just here, and they do tell you to use a 16GB micro SD card. I think the file size is around about 3 gig, but they tell you to use a 16. Okay, so once we've downloaded this file onto the desktop, then what we need to do is we'll download the other programs. Okay, so once the image, it'll come down as a zip file, RAR file, onto your desktop. So we'll need to download some other programs as well for setting it all up. So we'll download the VNC viewer. Okay, this is this one just here, Real VNC viewer. This is for once you've got the Pi and the card put into the Pi, and it's connected to your router via Ethernet cable to start off with, you're going to need to access your Raspberry Pi to actually set all the MMDVM host up which I'll go through and set up with you. Okay, so we're going to be downloading for Windows, and mine is the 64-bit version, and I'm going to download it as an exe file. If you're above here, you can download it as a zip or an exe. Okay, I'm running a 64-bit computer, so I've downloaded the 64-bit exe version. Okay, if you're running 32-bit, you can download the zip or the exe straight away. So once you've got that downloaded, then we need to download Advanced IP Scanner. Okay, and this is what the IP scanner looks like once installed. Basically, it will scan. Once you click on scan, once it's installed and click on scan, it'll scan your network. You've got your Raspberry Pi plugged in, you've got the card plugged in into the Pi, and it's all connected to your router via Ethernet cable. You've switched the Pi on, you leave for around about 30-40 seconds, and then you run a scan. And then it'll scan your network, and it will show you, give you the IP addresses, and it'll come up and it'll tell you what's connected to your network. And this is the bit that we want. We need the IP address of the Raspberry Pi. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to download the Advanced IP Scanner. So just click on free download, and also install. Okay, and the next one we need is WinRAR. Some people use 7-zip or any other zip folder program, but I tend to use WinRAR, which is very, very good for zipping things up and compressing, and obviously for unzipping stuff. Okay, we're not going to bother with these at the top here because, as you can see, it just says trial. So what we need to do is we need to scroll down and look at English. Now, same again, if you've got a 32-bit computer, click on 32-bit and download and install. Or whether you've got a 64-bit, download and install, just click on that. Okay, that is for unzipping RAR files, zip files and so forth, which we'll need because you've downloaded the KB5 image, this one here. As you can see, it comes down in a zip format, so you're going to have to unzip it and put it into a file. Okay, so that's what WinRAR is for. Okay, right, the next one we need is SD Imager. Now this one is used for writing images to USB sticks, SD cards and so forth. Okay, now all you need to do is just click on download SD Imager. This one just here, look, just click on that and download. Okay, and install. Okay, so let's close the let's just minimize the internet. Okay, right, so these are what we've just installed. Okay, so there's the IP scanner for scanning for the IP address of the Raspberry Pi, the VNC viewer, which is for connecting your home Windows computer desktop to your Raspberry Pi, so you can get into your Raspberry Pi and set all your image up. This is the image that we've downloaded. Okay, the KB5RAB image, just the pixel one, not the YSF. So this is just DSTAR and DMR. Okay, and then obviously we've got the SD Imager for writing the image once extracted to the SD card. Okay, so first of all, we've installed all these programs from the internet that we've seen just here. So as I say, I'll give you the links in the description of the video to actually download these. So we'll just minimize that. Right, first of all, we need to unzip the RAR file with the image in. So what we need to do here, best to do it all off of the desktop, I think, is just right click on your desktop, okay, and just click on new and then just click on folder. No need to rename it. I've got nothing else on the desktop, so that's all that is on there on this screen anyway, just a new folder. Right, now what we need to do is we need to unzip the KB5 image. Okay, so just double click on the KB5 image and we need to extract. So these are all the files that's inside the zip folder, so we need to extract 2. Okay, and then what we need to do is we need to search for the folder. So obviously we're going on desktop, click on new folder, which is this folder just here, and then click OK. And now what it's going to do, it's going to unzip that and put them into the folder. So I'll just pause the video and we'll wait for that to right. Okay, now we've just extracted the zip folder, and all these now will be within the new folder on the desktop. So we can now close the WinZip down. Sorry, WinRAR. So we'll just move that out of the way. Don't need that at the moment. Right, what you need to do now is to open up the SD imager. But before opening it up, get your SD card, 16 gigabyte SD card, plug that into your card reader of the computer. Okay, so once you've done that, click on the SD imager. Okay, so just going to open that up and going to install. Okay, now it's automatically found my card, which is on drive E. It's automatically found the SD card. Right, okay, so what we need to do now then, we need to don't bother formatting, no need to format, because as soon as you write the image it'll format the card anyway. So what we need to do is click on this button just here for the image file, and then we need to browse the desktop for the new folder and select the image. So there we go, so we've gone straight to the folder, desktop, new folder, which is this folder just here. Okay, so we'll just click on that, so it's the file name comes up in the bottom box, and then click open. Okay, and then all we need to do then is just click on the write button. All data on SD card will be erased and overwritten. Are you sure? Click on yes. And now it starts to transfer and write. So I'm just going to pause the video again. I'll also be waiting here for some time. Okay, just about finished writing to the SD card. Let's wait for this to finish. Okay, writing complete. Okay, so all you need to do then is just click on OK. Right, now you can exit the SD imager. Okay, so now that we've written the image to the SD card, what you now need to do is take the SD card and put that back into your Raspberry Pi, whether it's a 3 or a 2, and connect to your router via Ethernet cable. Do not plug the power in just yet. Just connect the Pi to your internet router via Ethernet cable. Okay. So once you've connected that, then you can now add power. Do not unplug the power once you've plugged it in. Just leave it for 30-40 seconds. Okay. Now, with your Raspberry Pi dvmega connected to the router, what we need to do now is we need to go to the advanced IP scanner, what we downloaded. Okay, this folder just here. So we'll just open that up. Okay, and then now what we need to do is just press the play button here, the scan button. Just press that once, and now what it's going to do is going to scan your network. and it's going to find everything that's connected to the network. So it'll show the live, everything that's live, which is in blue, and all the dead links, the stuff that's been connected to the network, will show up in grey. Obviously these ones here are my network, and that one there, I think that's the phone. So we'll just leave that scanning. What we're looking for is the Raspberry Pi coming up on the display. So it shouldn't take all that long actually. Now that it's done those three. Okay, just leave it running, and hopefully, fingers crossed, first time it should find it. Failing that, if it doesn't find it the first time, just stop it and restart it. There we go, it's just come up now, look. So what we can do is, obviously we can stop this now. So just tap the stop button. Obviously I've got a few Raspberry Pis here. They're the ones that I've connected and before. But what we're looking for is the Raspberry Pi that's lit up in blue, okay? This one just here. And this is the IP address, what we need. So what we do is we just hover above it, right click, okay, and then go down to copy IP. Okay, just left click that, copy IP. So hover above the Raspberry Pi that's lit up in blue, right click, go to copy, and go to IP and click IP. So right click, copy, IP, left click. Okay, so we don't need this now. So what we can do, what I should do is I should just minimize it. Okay, so now what we're going to do, we need the VNC viewer. Okay, we need the VNC viewer to actually get onto the Raspberry Pi. So we've installed VNC viewer. Okay, these are just all shortcuts to the programs. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll just double click. This one here, we can delete that. We're not interested in that one. Okay, so this is what the screen, what you'll get coming up. So in this address bar here, we need to put in the IP address of the Raspberry Pi. So just left click, right click, paste. Okay, once it's come up and connect to this address or host, just click on the blue bar here, just one left click. Okay, and this is just a warning about the Raspberry Pi. Okay, so it will not be encrypted. So we can click on this box and don't show me again, and just click on continue. Okay, now it is asking for a password to actually get onto the Raspberry Pi. Now the password is just Raspberry. There we go, there is the password, Raspberry. Radio Alpha Sierra Papa Bravo Echo Romeo Romeo Yankee, Raspberry. Okay, so what we can do here is just type in here, I'm not sure, right, turn the caps lock off, R-A-S-P-B-E-R-R-Y, Raspberry. Click on remember password, then click OK, and there we go. Now this here is your Raspberry Pi. Okay, right, for starters, we're getting this warning coming up. Okay, so we're not bothered about that, we can just close that down. Okay, also the LX terminal, we can close that down. And now also this one here, obviously the IRC DDB gateway is for DSTAR, which we're not going to connect to, so it's not connecting to anything at the moment. So we can just file and exit that. So we don't need any of those running. Okay, now what we need to do is we need to set up the Wi-Fi first. Okay, set up your Wi-Fi for the Raspberry Pi. Now what we do is we just go to the top bar, to the up and down arrows here, and then just left click. Okay, now what we're searching for is we're searching for the network of your Wi-Fi, whether it be your mobile phone, where you're tethering your Wi-Fi. Once you've set the Wi-Fi up to your main router, then you can always come back into the installation, into the Raspberry Pi screen. Once you've got everything set up, you can come back into here and you can do the same thing. Because you're connected via Wi-Fi, you can then come back to it and then search for Wi-Fi. So basically what you need to do is tether your mobile internet. Make sure your data's switched on your phone, and just set up a tether, okay, and just set up a password 1234 or something like that, something that's very, very easy to remember. So then when you come to the Wi-Fi here, you will see your mobile phone internet. So you can click on that and then obviously just set up the password 1234 or whatever you decide to put in. So here's my internet, so we just left click, and then obviously I'm just going to put in my password. It should automatically show the pre-shared key, DSTAR all in capitals. Okay, all you need to do then is just click OK. Now that's it, that's your Wi-Fi setup. As you can see, your Wi-Fi is now set up. Right, so what we need to do first, we need to open up this folder just here on your desktop, ham radio desktop shortcuts. So just double click. First time probably nothing comes up, so you just close it down and then double click it again and it should all appear. So these are all the shortcuts for setting up the image, okay, whether it be Fusion, whether it be DSTAR or DMR. So we're not going to bother with the gateway config or DSTAR. All we're interested in is the MMDVM host for DMR. Okay. So first of all, because this is an auto start procedure, the MMDV host is now active and it's running. As soon as you add power to your Pi, as soon as it finds the network, it will automatically connect. So what we need to do to start off with is we need to stop the service, the host service. So we'll just, this one here, stop MMDV host service, okay? So we'll just, I can click open that. You can double, there you go, it's just closed. So you can just double click it if need be. Right, now what we're looking for is the MMDVM ini file, okay? So this is the file that we need to edit. So all you need to do is just double click that, okay? So we can minimize the shortcuts down and we'll bring this into view. Okay, this here is the setup file with your call sign name, QTH, frequency, whether you want to use DMR, DSTAR and everything else, okay? Now fortunately I've already set this up and added it just to a quick notepad document, so this is all my details here. Okay, so what I shall do is I shall run it through with you. Start off with is your call sign. So the KB5, we need to delete that, and then what we need to do here is just type in your own call sign. So we'll type in M3DAF. Okay, so there we go, 3DAF, okay. In general, that's all you need to do. You do not need to tick on anything else. All you need to do is just change the call sign in general, okay. The info, your RX and TX frequency, is obviously the receive and transmit frequency of your Raspberry Pi. So therefore, once you've got a channel set up on your DMR with the frequency that you want to receive and transmit on for the Raspberry Pi, this is where you need to set it up. I've got mine set on 438 megahertz. So I'm just going to copy that out of mine that I saved earlier and just type in here. Okay, so there's no paste function, so it's Control and V. There you go, because I've cut it from the other one. TX frequency, do the same. So Control and V to paste. Okay, so now that we've got the frequency sorted, this is what your Raspberry Pi will be transmitting and receiving. Power, there's no need to do any power. Your latitude, longitude and your height above sea level, you can fill those in if need be. Okay, so I just leave those blank. All I do is under location, because I'm mobile a lot, I've really no need to, I could just put mobile in there or something just to let people know. But because I'm at home, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put the home Control and V, wrong one, I do apologise. So just let me copy that, my location, just right click, delete, Control and V. Okay, so your location is your QTH. Description is MMDVM stroke dvmega. Okay, so basically you're using a dvmega on a Raspberry Pi 3. You can put Raspberry Pi 3 in there as well if need be. Your URL, you can put anything in there, your website, your QRZ page or whatever. So just on the call sign here at the end, for your QRZ page, all you need to do is just type in your call sign. So I'll type in my call sign and that's it. Okay, that's all you need to do under the info, is just set up the frequency. You can set up your latitude, longitude and height above sea level if need be, your location that you need to change, and also the QRZ page, or you could put your own, if you've got a web page apart from QRZ, you could put that in there, put anything else in there if you like. Okay, down to log. Do not need to do anything with log. Okay, nothing at all. CWID. Okay, if you want to transmit a CWID to your radio to say that the Pi is there, you can do. But to enable it, you would have to delete the 0. Okay, delete the 0 and type the number 1. Now that is enabled. Okay, for CWID. I don't want that, so I'll just leave that disabled with a 0. Okay, DMR ID lookup, we don't need to do anything with that. The modem, down where it says port, the TTY-AMO, that is the device, that is your dvmega unit. Now I'm using a 70 SEMS single band unit, and that is the device. That's what it should be on a single band 70 SEMS device. So it's automatically detected that. We do not need to touch anything else in there, nothing at all under modem. UMP, do not need to touch anything for that, nothing at all. Right, okay, down to DSTAR. So if you want to enable DSTAR as well as, this is where you need to enable it. I'm going to disable DSTAR because I don't want to use it on the Raspberry Pi. So I need to delete the 1 and just put a 0 there. Okay. The module is B, which is B is for 70 SEMS. If you're using dual band on 2 meters, you would need to put C for 2 meters, Charlie. But I'm using a 70 SEMS, which is B. Right, down to DMR. Okay, so first off, we need to enable it. So it's already enabled. Okay. Beacons, we don't want any beacons, so that's turned off. Down to your DMR digital ID number, that you should get when you register for the network. So I'm just going to put my ID in there once I find it. I do apologise for this. This is the first time I've made a video like this, so you'll just have to bear with me. So my ID, I'm just copying and pasting. So there we go. There's my ID. Nothing else in there we need to change. So basically, just enable it and put in your ID number, your digital ID number under DMR. Okay, that's all you need to do. You don't need to touch anything else in there. System Fusion. So I've got it disabled. Okay. So if you want to enable Fusion, as well as, you could have all three if you wanted running. There's also a P25 here as well. So if you got P25 mode as well, you could enable that. But I've got them both disabled. They're both disabled here. Look, Fusion 0 for disable. If you want to enable it, just add 1. Okay, so Fusion, P25, we do not need to touch. DSTAR Network, if you want to use your DSTAR, then obviously you need to enable. The port, gateway and gateway address, you don't need to touch those. They're automatically set up, I do believe. So I want to disable the DSTAR network, so I'm just going to add a 0. Okay, down to DMR Network. Okay, so we need to enable the DMR network. The address, because this is KB5RAB Image, it's set up for the USA central address server. So we need to delete these, and what we need to do, we need to put the UK IP address, IP server for DMR in here. Okay, so what we need to do is we just need to delete. We can just highlight, I think, yeah, we can just highlight these only to central there and delete. So where it says address, what we need to type in, DMR network, yeah, what we need to type in is the IP address for the UK server. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to type in 158.69.203.89. Okay, that there is the UK server for DMR. The port is the same. The port's okay. You don't need to touch the port. Now, where it says local, if you want to automatically connect to 4400, the UK reflector, then just type in 4400. Okay, you can type in 4400 in there for the UK reflector. That's what that one there's for. But I like to connect to the USA nationwide reflector first, and then obviously I can change it on the DMR radio. Okay, where it says password, for UK only, the UK IP address only, what we need to do, we need to take the 0 out of Word, and it is a 0 and not an Oscar. What we need to do, we just need to add a 1. So it looks like this: Papa Alpha Sierra Sierra Whiskey 1 Radio Delta for password. That is what we need in there. Okay. RSSI disabled, slot 1 disabled. We don't need slot 1 running on a dvmega Raspberry Pi. All you need is slot 2 because it's internet based. Okay, so just enable slot 1. Slot 2. So slot 1 is disabled, as you can see. Slot 2 is enabled with a 1. Fusion network. I've got this disabled with a 0, so that's not working. P25 is disabled, as you can see, 0. The TFT serial port and all this here is for an external display for your Raspberry Pi. Little screen that you can add. You can set all this up as well if need be. Obviously the display clock and all that is for displaying the time on the display also. So that is it. We do not need to touch anything else in there at all. Okay, so what we need to do now, we need to save this file. So we just click on File and just click on Save. Now that is it, that's saved. So we can click on File and Quit. Okay, that is it. That's all you need to do. So what we're going to do now is we're going to close this down. So just click on the Raspberry Pi icon at the top, go down to Shutdown, okay, and click on Shutdown. Okay, that is it. You can now close the VNC viewer, and what you need to do now is just go back to your Raspberry Pi, unplug the Ethernet cable and unplug the power. Okay, that's what we're going to do now. So I'll just pause the video while I do that. Okay, right, now that we've disconnected the Ethernet cable and the power to the Raspberry Pi, because we set up the Wi-Fi for the home address Wi-Fi network, what we need to do now is we just need to apply power to the Raspberry Pi. So just add power to the Raspberry Pi, leave it for a good 30-40 seconds for it to all boot up and load and do whatever it wants to do. We need to run the advanced IP scanner yet again, just to make sure that everything's working okay. But this time, because we're using Wi-Fi, the IP address should have changed. Okay, so let's just do a quick scan and let's see what comes up. So I'll just pause. Okay, so my Raspberry Pi has come up now, and as you can see, the IP address has changed because it's using the Wi-Fi and not the Ethernet cable. So what you need to do here is just left click, then right click, down to copy, click on IP, left click. That is it. So now you can close the IP scanner down, click on your VNC, double click. Now this one here, the 50 ending in 55, that is the one where we set up for the Ethernet cable. So the next time you plug the Ethernet cable in to the Raspberry Pi, there's no need to enter the IP address because we've saved it. All you need to do is just click on that and it will automatically open up your Raspberry Pi. So because we've copied the IP address of the Wi-Fi one now, do the same again. Just left click in the bar here, right click, paste, and then go to the blue bar here, connect. Obviously enter the password again, which is Raspberry Radio Alpha Sierra Papa Bravo Echo Radio Yankee. Click on remember password, click OK. There we go. That is it. So this here, this is coming up all the time. It doesn't matter. It's not causing any grief. You'll only get this coming up if you've set it up. Obviously it's running, but nothing's actually working, as you can see. So you can file that, you can exit that, because we're not interested. This we're not interested in, that's okay. It's just a thing that keeps coming up. Just close that down. Okay. Right, I'm getting up, login to the master has failed, retrying closing network. Okay, so let's just close that down. Okay, so let's just have a quick look here. So what we'll do is we'll click on the AM Radio desktop shortcuts, double click, same as I say, nothing comes up the first time, close down, double click again, and it should all come up. So what we'll do is we'll stop the MMDVM host, double click, leave it for 1 or 2 seconds, and then what we're going to do is click start MMDVM host. There we go, and we'll get a terminal coming up here. MMDVM host is running. Now it should be connecting. DMR closing, log into the master has failed, retry. Now this this is where it's gone all funny, so just bear with me 1 second. Okay, right, what's happened is my router decided to stop and well, not reset itself, but the network just decided to disconnect and connect again. So that's what the problem was there. Okay, so it's all up and running now, as you can see. Logged into the master successfully. It's on slot 2, and this is what we are receiving at the moment. So
if you would like, if you
there we go.
QSO and make it disappear into
as you can hear, this is, I think, yep, this is the UK reflector on 4400. So that's it. That's all you need to do.
Yeah, okay, right. Your audio is rather
yeah. Talk group 2350, which is obviously talk group for Brandmeister 4400. That is it. That's all you need to do. So you don't need to be in your Raspberry Pi anymore, because we've got that set up. We can actually close this down. As you can see, it just automatically boots up. As soon as you add power, it'll just automatically load DMR and start to run DMR. So if you've got DSTAR set up as well, it'll just automatically start the DSTAR as well as. And what it'll do is, if it receives a DSTAR signal first, it'll play the DSTAR on the radio. Okay. And then it'll hang there onto that system. Then as soon as it receives on DMR, it'll switch and go to DMR. So if you're receiving DSTAR and DSTAR's busy, just get your DMR handheld, just key up, and it'll just automatically switch over to DMR. That is it. That's all you need to do. Hopefully this video has been helpful. I'm sorry for the jibber jabber, but it's just been the first video that I've done, and when you're actually doing things and talking and stuff like that, it's a little bit daunting. So hopefully this video has helped you all out. Okay, so we can close the desktop shortcuts down now, and also we can just close the VNC viewer down. We don't need to close the Pi, because we're going to be using that now on DMR, so no need to touch that. All we need to do is just close the VNC viewer. Okay, close the connection panel for VNC viewer, and that is it. As simple as that. So hopefully, as I say, the video has been good for you, and hopefully the links in the video in the description will get you all set up and running with the MMDVM Host image file by KB5RAB. Okay, this is Mike 3 Delta Alpha Fox. Cheers all for now. Thank you. Bye bye.